So about a year and a half ago, I made a nut-o. Not a little uh-oh, but like a tens of thousands of dollars uh-oh.
Yeah, listen. We fucked up.
This was an uh-oh that I didn't realize would carry the type of consequences it did, and it led to me spiraling out of control.
Oh my God. I am never gonna financially recover from this.
The mistake was listening to the wrong people. People online that told me to invest in things that I wasn't very well versed on, and even though I thought I did my own independent research, it turned out to not work in my favor, and I lost a lot of money.
Accounts with compounding interest and it's gone.
So after a year and a half later, these are the 10 things that I have since learned after having gone through that absolutely terrible experience. The first thing is very obvious to some, but may not be obvious to others, and that is don't invest more than you are willing to lose. No matter what type of investment you choose, you always have to go into it knowing that you can lose all that money too. And so no matter how certain you feel about your investment, you must make sure that you're okay losing it if it doesn't go in your favor. I found it out the hard way, and I was like 99% sure what can go wrong. And sure as shit, that 1% chance happened. So you always have to take into consideration, if you lose this money, are you going to still be able to afford your bills? Is this money that you can't afford to lose? Because you cannot let greed get in the way, and no matter how certain you think you may be, you always have to think about that 1% chance. The second thing is you always need to make sure that you understand the risks behind every investment you make. Knowing the type of risks that come with each investment could help you make an informed, smart decision as to which investments you actually go and dabble into. So that's why it's always important to do your own research, because if you just let people online dictate your decisions and give you all this information, for me, I had people that were giving me all these articles and they would scrub the actual dates on them, and I thought that they were recent articles, and we found out that they were from like 5 years ago. Risk is just an inherent part of investing, and each investment has a different risk level. The most common types of investment risks include market risks, liquidity risks, and credit risks. Market risk is the uncertainty of the financial markets and the potential for losses due to movements in the price and in an investment. Liquidity risk is the risk that an investor may not be able to sell an investment quickly enough to avoid losses. And credit risk is the risk of not being paid back when investing in debt securities. Understanding which risks your investments fall into will allow you to be better informed and equipped to make a smart decision. Next is to diversify your investments. Diversifying your investments is a key way to build financial security, as it allows you to actually put pieces all throughout the board, so you're spreading your risk amongst different things instead of putting all of your eggs in one basket. In my situation, I did just that. I put all my eggs into one basket of something that I thought was just a surefire win, and I got absolutely screwed because of this. Because I didn't have this diversified portfolio, my risk was much greater because I had put everything in one thing, and if that didn't pan out, then I was screwed across the board. But if you invest in different types of assets such as stocks and bonds and commodities, you can reduce your risk of losing your entire investment in one asset class due to changes in the market. Different asset classes will perform differently in different economic environments. By investing in a variety of asset classes, you can benefit from the growth potential of some asset classes while taking advantage of the stability of others. This will allow you to earn more money in the long run, as you're not just relying in one asset class. The next lesson I learned is to have an emergency fund. Having an emergency fund will help provide a safety net in case all things go south. And that's something I did not have. I was looking to have to pay for things with credit after this, and it was just a compounding effect of just one shit show after the next. During this time, my car broke down and I couldn't afford to fix it. And I had all these unexpected expenses just start to stack on top of each other, and I had no idea how I was gonna even start to pay this off. Whereas if I had an emergency fund, I would have been able to cover the costs of those unexpected things while I was trying to figure out a way to recoup all my losses. This didn't provide me a backup plan. This didn't provide any peace of mind. I was depressed. I had to get medical attention. My friends and family were terrified because they thought I was gonna do something stupid. And God forbid I would have lost my job during this time. So I'm telling you guys, Learn from me and have money aside before you even start investing in the first place. The next lesson is to learn to manage your emotions. I found that learning to manage my emotions during financial loss was really important. Financial loss is a difficult and stressful experience, and by being able to manage your emotions during this time, you're going to prevent bad things from happening further. Like maybe you lash out at friends and family, or you make other really not smart decisions to try to make up for that loss, and then you lose that too, and then you're even worse off. When I realized that all my money was rugged and that I got screwed by listening to these people, I was absolutely outraged. I thought, how can I be so stupid and naive to make these dumb decisions? Like, yes, I thought I was informed, but you never know. And if you just let greed get in the way and make these decisions for you, it could really mess up your life. But it's important to remember that although these emotions are natural, they eventually will pass, and if you can learn to control them and then figure out solutions instead of just dwelling and getting mad because of your actions, you will be a lot more well equipped to get past them and then not make stupid decisions moving forward. And it's also very important during these hard times that you are focusing on your mental and your physical health. I was just drinking heavily to try to forget all this shit happened, and I wasn't working out, and I wasn't sleeping well, and I was having panic attacks, and that was just compounding into a person I didn't want to become. And I had to eventually see a doctor even, and I was freaked out, and I wasn't taking care of my health. And once I started to do this and start to take care of my health, that's when everything started to level out, and I was able to actually put an action plan in place and start to get myself out of the shitstorm that I got myself into. The next lesson is to make a financial plan and then stick with it. A financial plan can help provide clarity and direction when making financial decisions, and this is going to help make sure that you are actually taking the steps to pay off debt or put money in the right place, and not just aimlessly throwing money at things thinking that it's going to bring all this crazy wealth your way. I wish I had a financial advisor prior to this decision, because he for sure would have slapped the shit out of me and he said, what are you doing? You don't have that money to spend and the risk is way too great. And if I would have had a financial plan prior to this and I was budgeting and I allocated money on the side to be able to throw out things that essentially are gambling, because that's what it is. It's not a financial plan to throw money at crypto or something and expect to get rich off that, because it's gambling. But this financial plan would have allowed me to have a budget of money that I could throw at something that I could afford to lose ultimately. So what I recommend is get a financial advisor and really try to map out where all your money is going and what you can afford to throw out these things, and make sure that you're paying off your debt before you start to do high risk investments, because I learned the hard way and I do not want this to happen to you guys ever. This is going to force you to stay disciplined, but in the long run, you will thank yourself. The next thing is to have a support system of friends and family. Whether you lose a lot of money in a bad investment or you lost your job and you're struggling to pay your bills, it's so important to have friends and family that you can lean on during these hard times. For so many, the emotional, psychological, and financial stress can be just so much for one person to bear. And having a support system of friends and family during this time is so crucial, and it honestly helps me get through this completely. And although they told me I was a complete dumbass, which I was, they provided that sense of security and they gave me options that I wasn't even thinking about. And therefore I was able to stay level-headed and work on solutions. Honestly, just knowing that you can go to people during these times is just so comforting. And it's hard because I'm so used to just bottling everything up and just letting it build and build and letting my depression get worse off because of it. And since then, I've just become a lot more open to communicating about these things and even talking to the internet about it. If you're watching this video and you've been through a similar situation and you're really depressed and down, I hope you're watching this video, you realize that you're not alone in these situations and you're only human, and that you can get out of it and your life's not over. And that's why I'm making this video, because a lot of people don't share their losses. They just highlight the wins. And whether you made a lot of poor money decisions or you got fired and you're stressed because you're not making consistent income now, I just want you to know that you're not alone, and we all have struggles and you can get through them. But during these times, it's critical to talk to friends and family about this if you have them. If you don't, talk to me. Reach out in the comments and I will sit down and talk to you about this situation, because I know what it's like. The next lesson was to take responsibility for your own financial decisions. During financial loss, it's really easy to become resentful and angry and blame other people, but it's really crucial that you accept the realities of your situation and you take responsibility. When I realized I got screwed out of a ton of money by a person that was very unethical and rugged me, I was pissed. I wanted obviously to blame that person and say, yo, this guy screwed me. But I realized ultimately it was my choice to spend the money and it was my decision. So I have to live with them. I know it can be difficult to accept responsibility during financial loss because tensions are high and you want to blame other people, especially if there's a reason to blame someone else. But if you're able to recognize these mistakes as your own doing, you're able to move forward and learn what not to do in the future. Like, absolutely, sure, I dislike the person that was screwing myself and other people over, but again, it was my decision to actually pull the trigger and invest my money, especially money I didn't have to lose, in those things. But if I didn't go through this experience, then I wouldn't be budgeting now. I wouldn't have a financial plan for myself. And now that I'm a lot more informed about the risks of investments that even sound like a sure thing, I know that they're not. And I'm actually a lot more smart with my money now. I want to be clear, if you're suffering a financial loss because you're getting laid off or anything like that, like, I'm not here to say that that's your fault or anything like that. But if you take responsibility in recognizing how moving forward in my new organization can I be indispensable so they can't fire me, then that is something that is only going to help you down the road. The next tough lesson is to know when to cut your losses. I can write an essay now on knowing when to cut your losses during these financial hardships. When experiencing financial loss, it can be hard to know when to cut your losses and move on. We often want to hold on a little bit longer and hope that everything turns around and we recoup that money. It's like when you gamble and you lose a big hand and you panic and then you double down and you continue to lose that money because you're not thinking straight and you're just in denial and you're trying to continue to play a hand in order to get your money back, and you continue to just drift away farther and farther. And that's exactly what I learned. I learned that holding on to investments when you're in denial instead of cutting your losses and move on can lead to losing more and more. There was a point in this situation where I was able to get out only losing a little bit. And I was like, no, things are gonna turn around. And then it got worse and worse. And I was just holding on for dear life and trying to put more in to recoup, because I was like, no, it's gonna go back up. And it just wouldn't. And then I went from losing a little bit to a lot of it. But if you have this feeling in your stomach that something's wrong and you're down a little bit, sometimes it's just better to walk away than to just hold on for dear life and just hope that things recover, because that could be the difference between you losing a little bit and losing everything. But being able to get out losing as little blood as possible is always going to be better than the stress and anxiety of hanging on and then it just not working out in the long run. But just like at the gambling table, just know when to cut your losses and leave. Don't keep getting screwed by the house, okay? The next lesson is just keep learning and educating yourself on financial matters. The financial climate of the world is ever changing and uncertain. And I'm just seeing now that half of people making over 6 figures are living paycheck to paycheck right now. I just find that just crazy. And when experiencing financial loss, it's important to just educate yourself on financial matters during these times and figure out what went wrong, what to not do in the future, what valuable information you can take from this to apply in your next endeavor. And to understand how to manage your money and make wise financial decisions moving forward, you will allow yourself to overcome future hardships because you will be a lot more prepared for them. So whether you've made a massive financial blunder like I have, or you're suffering a financial loss or anything like that right now through being laid off, I just really encourage you to try to remain positive, talk to people, let them listen and provide encouragement. Talk to financial advisors that can help you get out of your situation and make sure you don't do it again. I just want to remind you guys that during these times, it's just super important to take care of yourself and love yourself and know that you're human and that everyone screws up from time to time, but you learn and you grow and you'll prevent these things from happening in the future. If this video brought you value, please hit that like button and also subscribe and share this with someone that's going through some tough times right now. Hopefully they can relate and know that they're not alone and can begin the process to try to fix their situation. Please check out some more of the videos that I've made recently, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later, guys.